All right, I'm live. I'm just having a go at this. The webcam's not working, but that's all right. You don't need to see me. I don't want you to get distracted by my wild hair. I want to talk a little bit more about the transactional nature of narcissists and the transactional nature of life. I will be making this stream a more regular thing when I find out what I'm doing, because I can't see the chat. I mean, there's no one watching. That's all right. But, I probably should get a bit better at this. So, top chat. Oh, there we go. There we go. Hello, chat. Yeah. I won't bother you too much by my stupidity. That'll do. It's enough stupidity. All right, let's get into it. So, like transactional, and this idea that there is unconditional love is stupid. It's actually a religious idea. It's an ideological concept. And some of you who are ideologically driven are going to attempt to prove that it's real. Oh, hello, Louise Suevas. Oh, look, I've got someone here with me. Isn't that nice? Thought it was going to be a solo. I'm just having a go, Louise, just having a crack, having a little look at the old live stream, how it works. If you have any questions, feel free to fire away. So I wanted to talk about the transactional nature of narcissism, and indeed the transactional nature of life. Everything is transactional. It's just that you don't know what the transaction was. You weren't conscious of it. If you flatter someone for long enough, they start to, they don't believe you anymore. If all I did all day was kiss your ass, if that's all I did, if I bombarded you with messages, compliments, flattery, you would disrespect me after a while. You'd say, what does this guy do? What does he do all day? Familiarity breeds contempt. And you've got to be careful that you don't get in the situation where the narcissist feels contempt for you. So, sorry, let me close the door. Absolute amateur that I am. You don't want to get into a situation where the narcissist has power over you, feels contempt for you, and you are stuck and you're unable to do anything about it. Which is why you have to spend time by yourself getting things done. And then you come back to the situation, and now you've got power. It's just the fact that you obviously have something else to do. This is very attractive to the narcissist. They want you to focus on them entirely. So they become envious of whatever side project you're doing. Or alternatively, the thing that you're doing provides materials. Maybe you're a gardener. Maybe you're a painter. Maybe you, I don't know, you're a builder. You're an artist. You have an art exhibition coming up. You can invite the narcissist if you wish, or they may be there. Will you talk to them there or not? This is important to the narcissist. Will you share your status with them? Now you have something that they want. If you are just someone who gives compliments, your currency is watered down. But if you're someone who may give a compliment and then disappears, this makes the compliment rare. It's therefore worth more. Think about it. If your favorite movie star was to drop by and give you a pat on the back and say, hey, well done, you'd be amazed. But if they hung around all the time and became very insecure, you might think they're not so big after all. You might even feel tempted to boss them around a bit just because it would be a real kick. Get a kick out of it, being more powerful than someone that you had respected so much. I'm not suggesting that you go out of your way to deal with narcissists, to seek them out and do deals with them. But sometimes you're just stuck in that situation and you don't have a choice. So you've got to bring something to the table. You've always got to bring something to the table, otherwise it's you. If you don't bring something, then you're on the table. You are the meal. if your life is spent drifting around looking for company, you're going to get savaged by narcissists. It's obvious you have no status, no power. You look anxious. You're easy to bully. The narcissist is a bully. It's crucial to get over the idea that you can help these people, that you can change them in any way, or that you need to even try. This shouldn't be the focus of your life. That's what gets you in trouble. You found this individual who is frozen in their state, and you thought you could maybe change that. You thought by offering yourself up as a sacrifice, if you did it enough times, that you might be able to talk the narcissist around or show them what love is by debasing and degrading yourself. You'd say, hey, why don't you be like this? This is an alternative to the life that you have, fooling people and gleefully getting away with it. Why don't you be a doormat? How about that? Look at me. I'm a doormat and I'm happy. You have to game the narcissist. It's a game. It's always a game. You can't, you can't just go hang out with these people and expect that it's going to run smoothly for you, that maybe they'll change. Maybe one day they'll go, hey, you know what? I was a bit hard on you. I've changed just because I felt like it. These are people since a very, very young age. Some researchers say it's even the age of 8 months or 9 months, the child turns away from the caregiver. There's a kind of like a cutting off. I read this once, or rather I heard it. A lady was talking about it and said that at about 8 months, the child turns away and the stress levels rise. So I would say at that point, the child is creating itself as an authority figure, which is incredible to think that that might start at 8 months. That this process is very, very deep-rooted. It's possible that the narcissist knows nothing else but this lifestyle of deception and cheating. I just came across that article once. It would be interesting to look into it more deeply, but the results do say that it's 50% genetic. I would argue that the other 50% is probably a borderline. You probably get a family, because borderline's about 50% genetic. Narcissism is about 50%. It wouldn't surprise me that if you had this kind of I don't know, a secondary psychopath gene, and that it would manifest in one of two ways. It might become borderline, it might become narcissist, just to deal with that heightened sensitivity. It's just a way of dealing with the pain. A secondary psychopath is somebody in pain. They are very, very sensitive. The primary psychopath, on the other hand, is very callous. Neurotypical is somewhere in the middle, as is the malignant narcissist, strangely enough. But you are dealing with something that is quite possibly just very, very deep. It's a very, very deep-rooted behavioral pattern that begins very early. And so, what sort of parent do they have? Is it going to be a neurotypical parent, or are they likely to be raised by cluster B? So is the child an instrument of the parents? They may use the child to get messages across. It's like people who have a dog that's out of control and the dog leaps on you and the person says, oh, sorry about that. But in a way, really, the dog is enforcing their will. It's dominating you. The person is too weak to do it, so they allow the dog to misbehave a little bit. If you don't want a dog to leap on people, you yell at the dog and you grab it and you tie it up. You discipline it. But I would argue that the parent of the narcissist has used this child as a tool. So there's a training there too. The parent has trained them in deception. And think of it as witchcraft. They've been trained in witchcraft since a very young age. They've learned. So they've either been taught or they've picked it up themselves. Maybe they've had a very weak parent who's been easy to bully, and they've just learned how to do it. But often I would argue there's a role model there. It's not, these are not isolated things. This is not just, one day at age 8, someone was mean to them and they became a narcissist. This is something very deep. It's deep in their being. It's not something that you could change ever, ever. Any more than someone could change you. How could someone change you? How could someone make you less anxious? I guess that's the fantasy, isn't it? You're going to find someone to change you. You'll change them. They'll change you. And you'll live happily ever after. It's a sick fantasy. And it will lead you to bad places. This idea, you change them, they'll change you, and together you'll be fine. Why don't you change yourself? Let them change themselves, you change yourself. Deal with them as they are. A creature who, from a very young age, has required other people's attention just to get by. They've never learned how to soothe themselves. They've never learned how to deal with pain, shame, fear. They've never learned how to deal with negative emotions. They've been taught, or they've learned, that you give them to other people. You take the happy emotions from the other people and you give them the rubbish. But it's a bit like a criminal breaking into your house, stealing all your expensive stuff. They're going to take that and fence it for nothing. It's going to be sold for almost nothing because maybe they have a drug habit, right? They take your laptop, your TV, your silver, they sell it for, I don't know, $50, $100. They buy some drugs. The damage to you is very real. It's excessive, but the actual, what they get out of it is very little. So this is the narcissist destroying your happiness, destroying your fun. It's not as though they take your happiness and have it. They get a kind of glee from destroying what you have. Now they've got to go look for someone else to rob. So you have to deal with them as they are, just a creature that is unable to generate their own happiness. And all they get is a kind of glee, the feeling of winning, the feeling of fooling someone. As a kid, when you gave someone a fright, they're coming around the corner and you go boo, and they get a shock. It's kind of fun, The narcissist just does this all the time. It's just what they are. And it's crucial that you get this into your head, that they are what they are, and you can't change them. This is very, very deep-rooted. You'd be lucky to change yourself. You too are a different creature. You're not like the rest either. And that's one problem that people with narcissists seem to have, is that they think they're normal people. They're sure that they are normal people. They're absolutely certain of it, when they're not. So it's important to see the narcissist for what they are, but it's also important to see you for what you are. You are not a normal person. You're someone who feels negativity very, very strongly. You cannot afford to bathe in it. You cannot afford this. You feel negativity very strongly. It lasts for a long time. And you don't have very good mechanisms to deal with it. You can't afford it. You can't afford to take it on. So when you're dealing with narcissists, you must be purely transactional. Treat the narcissist like quicksand. You've got to keep moving. You can't afford just to hang around and see what happens. See if the quicksand doesn't swallow you this time. Maybe there's a hard bottom. Maybe you'll sink up to your knees and live happily ever after. It never works like that. You're not up against a creature like that. If the narcissist doesn't keep getting this attention that they need, they begin to fall apart. They know nothing else. They know nothing else. You, however, in your childhood, you probably had one or two people that you loved and were, relatively kind to you. Or maybe they were very kind to you. Or maybe you just learned to play alone by yourself and enjoy that without anyone's attention. You just were playing. So you have You have something the narcissist doesn't have. You have a certain resilience and resourcefulness that they don't have. It's painful. It's not easy to do this. It can feel very lonely at times. But you do have more resources than they do in some ways. You're probably not as good as networking as they are, but you have a heart and you are resilient. When you are pursuing that which you really care about, you are resilient. Think about the bullshit you put up with in dealing with the narcissist. They could never endure that. Never. Not for a moment. The feelings of inferiority that you took on. But you can redirect this energy. It won't be quite so easy. But you can aim it at tasks. You can say, I really want to get this task done. I'm all about this task. This is everything to me. I'll feel great shame until I finish it. I must do this thing. I must achieve it. You can get tunnel vision. You can get focused, obsessive about it. So you get obsessive about your task, you do your best, and you produce some results. And other people say, hey, wow, that's great. You did a good job. You gain status. Now you have something you can barter with. Now you have something the narcissist wants. Some status, other people's appreciation, secondhand perhaps. But if the narcissist is seen talking with you and you are a good person, then by implication, the narcissist also must be a good person. So it's like you have to go away before you can come back. You have to go away and do things of value just to keep safe. It's you've always got to put something on the table. It's a bit like the black widow spider. The husband has to bring the mate has to bring something for the black widow spider, otherwise he's on the plate. The narcissist much the same. It's what you do when you're not around the narcissist that keeps you safe from them when you are around them. Because you can always say, oh yeah, look, anyways, this has been great, but I got to go and do this thing that everyone thinks is important and that you have seen me be praised for, this thing of social good. I've got to go and do it. So this is very difficult for the narcissist. They don't want to appear like a baby. They don't want to say, no, it's not fair. You can't do that. No, everyone likes you. They can't do that. They have to be very careful. Oh, okay, great. Yeah, I'll talk to you later. Or sure, you can't stay longer or whatever. Or, oh, I've got to do something too. Yeah, no, I got to do. People want clever words to deal with narcissists, but they are the masters of clever words. If you're going to trade clever words with them, they'll eventually beat you. This is why when you spend a lot of time around talking, you begin to feel sick. They're just beating you. They're thrashing you because they don't love you. But you actually care. You care about people and things. So this, you're fighting with, both arms tied behind your back. There's not a good transaction. Talking to narcissists is not a good transaction. You want goods or services if you have to deal with them. So maybe there's a bunch of, there's some narcissists picking on you at work or something. Maybe you bring along some food for everybody, not just for them. And now people praise you. And now it makes it hard for the narcissist to plot against you because other people like you. This hurts them. It hurts them, the fact that you're doing that. You just brought along, some muffins for everyone, chocolate muffins. The narcissist is struck with envy. You can see it sometimes. You see it in their face. It looks like they've been winded. They're just stunned. They just stare. Maybe they breathe. Maybe those pupils dilate. They get overwhelmed. That internal envy is what hurts them. Nothing you say does a thing. Everything you say can be used against you, and it will be. If you hang around the narcissist too long, the transaction will be that you will just become abusive. You'll become upset. That's what you'll trade with them. You'll say things about the narcissist. You may say things about other people. Oh, well, such and such doesn't even like you anyway. And now you've done it. What a terrible transaction. You have given the narcissist so much to work with. They rub their hands together with glee. Oh, the fun they're going to have now. Dealing with narcissists is difficult because you have to spend time alone. It's bitter. It's painful. but it's very, very good for you because you will do beautiful things and you will develop, and the narcissist becomes less and less relevant. It's only through pain and suffering that you're going to beat these people. There's no easy way. You can't magically think your way through this. You're going to have to struggle. It's going to be suffering, but you'll learn. And maybe in the midst of whatever you're doing, you may fall in love with it. You may forget about the narcissist altogether. You may get so engrossed in what you're doing. I'm reminded of the Joseph Campbell hero quest, if you're familiar with Joseph Campbell. He wrote about myths and legends. He went around all these cultures around the world and he picked out what was common. And it's this idea of the hero journey. The hero must leave the village and then go into the belly of the beast. They must leave the society, like the hobbits must leave the Shire. They must go to Mount Doom. They must, you must fight. You're fighting with yourself. You're fighting with your own narcissism. That's what the monster represents. Your own failure. The pain that you feel when faced with doing something that you know is important, you know you should do, you know will bring value to yourself and those around you. But it hurts. It hurts to do it because you're alone. No one else is with you. That's your vision. And you want the narcissist. You want someone to help you with your vision, to be a cheerleader, to be there for you, but no one is. Everyone's against you instead. What are you doing that for? That seems silly. Why don't you just buy one? But you're not like that. You have a beautiful heart. It's just covered. And you're uncovering it. You're out there facing reality. You're undergoing the hero journey. You're alone. No one's with you. You have to be resourceful. You'll find out who you really are. People say, find yourself. Well, the narcissist will help you. They'll isolate you. And then you'll find out who you are. You'll see what's fantasy and what's reality. You may learn that you were better than you thought. And in some aspects, you're worse. And you go through something. And so you come back. Now you have something of value. You've lived, you've adventured, you've been somewhere. And people can see that. They can sense it and feel it, and they can see what you have created. Narcissists are very good for you in a way, as long as you don't try and, take them as a partner. They're sent to you. They smell blood in the water. They sense weakness, and they hone in on you, and they force you to become stronger. They force you to up your transactions so that it's not just flattery. You're not just kissing their ass. You're not just lying. Because that's what happens. You just end up lying. That's the transaction. I will lie to you and I will take your abuse if you will, from time to time, play teenage romance games with me. Or maybe something a little more pornographic, a little naughty and risque. Childish, let's just say. Immature, playing immature games. We often think back about the times when we were with the narcissist as though it was some golden age, when it was nothing of the sort. It was good for neither you nor them. It was silly. It was immature. Your stoic ancestors would think, what the hell's that one doing? You were just being silly. You're playing silly games, fantasizing. The narcissist had no intention of following through, and after a while, you didn't really care, as long as you could get a little bit of that good. Terrible transaction. Absolutely terrible transaction. So by lying to the narcissist and saying that, oh, yeah, you're great. Oh, that's really impressive. Yeah, me too. You'll become sick. It's a very negative thing to do. There's something in you that doesn't like lying. Your conscience. They don't have that. Yeah, you'll always have someone with you. You won't be alone, but you will be abused. It'll be someone who doesn't like you, someone who toys with you, lets you think you're safe. Up, rug pull. It's like Lucy and Linus. They're never going to let you kick the ball. Or was it Charlie Brown? I'm sorry, it's Charlie Brown, isn't it? Charlie Brown and Lucy play that game. The old ball pull. If you've seen the comic, you know what I mean. But so it's really a case of what are you bringing to the table. You need to generate status and power in your spare time. Better to generate power because that's where status comes from generally. You can feign status, but it's harder to feign power. And the power is found by suffering, by being alone and suffering, because it hurts. It hurts to be alone. It hurts to be faced with your visions. It's very painful. What if you can't do it? What if you are an idiot? You'll find yourself in that position. Everyone's against you. No one understands you. But this is the position of every visionary who's ever been. You can see the future, some part of the future, you can see it. And you're trying to prepare something for it. Others can't see it, so they think you're stupid. They think maybe the future will be the same as today, but you can see, I can bring something forth. This would be better. This would work better. Won't someone help me? No, they won't. You've got to do it alone. But that will build your character. You become more resourceful. And I advise you, when you are alone doing these things, that you keep going. That you never say, well, I really need to buy this particular type of brush and it's out of stock for about 3 months. So until then, I'm going to eat ice cream and try and text my nug ex. But just as soon as that brush comes in, whew, I tell you what, I'll be away. No, you find another way around it. You got to bring something to the table when you're dealing with these creatures. Even when you're not dealing with them, it's good to have this in reserve. It's good to have power and status in reserve. So that when you do come across a narcissist, you now have something that they want or that they don't want. Narcissists don't want to be humiliated and excluded and shunned by powerful, important people. Imagine someone walking into the room, everyone starts beaming. Norm. Well, not Norm, but hey, how are you? Yeah, great. And everyone's smiling and beaming. The narcissist wants that. They want to be in the middle of that, not you. But they can't just go, it's not fair, way. Otherwise, they'll be kicked out. So they've got to kiss your ass. Oh, hey, how are you? Yeah. They're going to try and get alongside you and tear that off you. They want what you got. They need to degrade you. But first of all, of course, they've got to love bomb you. You can take that love bomb and then you head to the drinks table. Oh, hey, how are you? Yeah. No, nice. Oh, yeah, we must sometime. We'll do that. Hang on a minute. I'm just going to grab a drink. Be right back. And then you don't come back. Take the love bomb and run, as it were. The reason that we got in trouble with narcissists in the first place is that we had nothing. We didn't have anything. It's very painful to admit this. It's painful to say, I wasn't really functioning at where I could have been. I was too scared of being alone. I spent all my time wandering from social circle to social circle, never really feeling at home. Because you're not a neurotypical. You're just not. And you never will be. The fact that you keep running into narcissists is really no coincidence. It's not an accident. There's something in you that is attracted to them. Their false confidence or their false piety. It would be nice to find someone just marvelous that you could just be with, and then all your problems would fade away. You just need this person. As long as you're with them, you'll be fine. Once upon a time, this person was God. Once upon a time. But we have decoupled from religion, and now it's baby. Oh, baby, won't you be mine? And we fell for that. And we became worthless. We just had to find someone. We didn't have to develop our talents. We didn't have to action those ideas that keep nagging at us. No, we just need to find the right person. And somehow, magically, things would work out. Not sure exactly how, but I mean, hey, who cares? We'll just find the person and then we can figure it out later. No, you got to figure it out first. Painful. It's painful. It hurts. It hurts to be alone. But that's where the value is. You're an explorer. You're an adventurer. You're a visionary. Bit of grandiosity for you. Nothing wrong with a bit of grandiosity. You don't have to go to the narc for it. You can create it with your own hands. But it's real this time. The things that you make and that you do will be authentic. They'll be real. You'll have worked for it. It's not a play. It's not a fantasy. Baby, I love you forever. You mean it? Yeah. Ha ha! I've done it. Right, finished. That's it. Right, let's Netflix and chill. I'm done here. No, it doesn't work like that. So I'd like to wrap it up now. And really, I'm trying to get across the point that by creating things of value, you will protect yourself from the narcissist. I mean, you won't be there. You won't be. Think about all the crummy, grimy places you've ever been and look back and think about the ones that you shouldn't have been there. There was nothing there of value. You could easily spend the rest of your life in such places, or you can try and look for one that might be nice. You know what I mean? Try and find the unicorn narcissist or the unicorn narc clique. Or you can say, you know what, it didn't work. I'm going to go alone. I'm going to go alone. It's going to hurt in the short term, but in the long term, it will be good for me. And the transactions that I have with narcissists, I will come from a more powerful position. I will be able to negotiate with these people because I'm too strong for them simply to crush me. I'm too strong now. The narcissist wants to appear godlike and powerful, and this is easy if you're weak because then they can feel great. It's easy to boss you around, but if you're strong, it's not. Narcissists are here for a reason, I believe, and the reason is to make you stronger. You've just got to use them the right way. You've got to be offended by them and then think, you know what? Fuck you. You think I'm no good? I'll show you who's good. I'll show you who's strong and powerful. And then you go and do something that's worthwhile. There's nothing more to say. Actions speak louder than words. All right. Well, thank you for listening. And we'll do this again soon. And Louise, you get a star for being the only one to comment. So put that virtual star on your fridge or on your wall. All right. Thanks, everybody.